Alright guys, so let me tell you what I'm thinking here. I've got this Anguirus here, and then I've got this Gamera over here, and what I'm thinking I'm going to do here is I'm going to try and take these legs off with my heat gun and see how these legs match up on there. And then, of course, we'll have to modify the tail so that it's standing more outwards. But I was thinking if we put those legs on this body and then made uh, a new head for this, we might have like a Zangaran, or I'm probably not saying that correctly, but you know that one Cyclops kaiju. But yeah, I think this will be a perfect custom for making that because we all know how expensive those are. But this might be a great hack for making one of those figures. So I'm gonna give it a go and see how those arms fit on this body. I might have to uh, drill out these sides a little bit to fit those legs on it, but I'm gonna go ahead and pop off all these legs and we'll see how it matches up, y'all. Alright, you guys, so that actually came out really good. Here is the Anguirus body with the Gamera arms and legs put in there. I was able to use my heat gun to kind of warp the body to fit these arms and legs. You can see little rivets there. But yeah, it actually was able to all fit in there. And I used the heat gun to reposition that tail. And it's all cool now. And it's hard enough vinyl that it's not going to bounce back into shape. It's going to stay like that. Now I'm going to take this original Anguirus head here. And I'm going to cut it off. Cut the face off right here. Remove these spikes. And then I'll reposition the head to be forward facing. And then I've got this really neat moss agate little spear right here. And this is what I'm going to use to make the Cyclops eye on this, oh god, Zygan figure. And then we'll just use a little bit of, I think I'm actually going to use epoxy sculpt on this just to finish out the head. But yeah, a very easy modification on this. And I'm going to go ahead and get started on that, y'all. And I'll show you in just a bit. So here's a very quick update on the head. You can see I've cut it off. And I've cut the crest off the back. I'm going to fill the entire thing with hot glue. Just because I'm going to be, building it up. And adding that eye on there with epoxy sculpt. But anyways, it'll end up being positioned something like that, and with the stone right there, and then we'll sculpt out the top of the head. But anywho, I'm going to go ahead and get started on that, and I'll show you that in a bit. Alright, so I've got this filled with hot glue and junk plastic now. When you're going to be adding either milliput or epoxy sculpt, you want to be using that on a nice firm surface. So I always go ahead and just fill whatever section I'm going to be adding that to with hot glue and junk plastic so that it's completely solid. You can see right there, that's where the hot glue ends, and then right there. So this will actually go ahead and just pop right back in there. I'll also be adding hot glue, filling it into the inside of this when we attach it right there before we start, making the Cyclops head. But filling all this with hot glue just really makes this solid, and it gives a nice firm, surface for that either milliput or epoxy sculpt to grasp onto. And so that, we won't have any chipping along the way. And what's neat with these, Bandai figures is you don't have to fill the entire thing with hot glue, just whatever section you're going to be adding the modifications to. So this, the only piece that we need to add, the epoxy putty to is the head. So the only area we needed to fill completely with plastic is the head and the neck to be able to do that. But anywho, I'm going to go ahead and get this popped in, get this filled with hot glue, attached, and I'll start building up the new head. But anywho, thanks for hanging out, and I'll get back to you in just a little bit. Alrighty guys, we are back. And if you're asking yourself, what in the heck is that? You're not alone. And that is because we are in the awkward teen years of this Kitbash. But it's about ready to get a lot cooler. And in order for this to become a ZAGORAN, I'm going to take some epoxy sculpt and sculpt out the face. We will cover a little bit over this eye right here to keep that as a ridge. We'll make another ridge right here. Make that eyelid, top crest right there. And then add a little bit of a lip flap over this tusk here. And we will have made a Kitbash ZAGORAN out of a Gamera and a Anguirus. So yeah, and if you're watching this channel, you probably know, because you're into Kaiju, that Anguirus, or not Anguirus, but ZAGORANs are super duper expensive. But this is a relatively cheap way of making a cool looking ZAGORAN. So alright y'all, I'm going to go ahead and sculpt the face, get our guy out of the awkward teen years and towards a finished product. Alright y'all, I'll talk to you in just a little bit. Guess what, you guys? He is through those awkward teen years. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I had so much fun sculpting out that face for this guy. This is the first look at our ZAGORAN in his final physical form. Now I'm going to start putting some black priming paint on him before I add the real paint, or the finishing paints. But anywho, that's just a first look of his finished face. I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I'll catch back in with you in a little bit. Alright, you guys, so here is our ZAGORAN again. Kitbash ZAGORAN that's been all primed in black. And I'm going to go ahead and start putting some colors on him. I think I'm going to do the base body in a purple. And that's about as far as I've gotten. I haven't decided what else I'm going to do on this, but I'm going to go ahead and start putting some purple on this, and then we'll see how we go from there. Alright, y'all, talk to you in a bit. Alright, guys, so here's ZAGORAN, painted up in a dark, purplish blue sort of thing. I'm going to paint these back spikes some sort of red, maybe red mixed with copper. Haven't completely decided that, but I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll give you another update. Guess what, you guys? The ZAGORAN Cyclops is done, but it's not that one. It's not that one. It's not that one. It's boom, boom, the newest Cyclops in the Cyclops family. My ZAGORAN is finally finished. It took forever to get this guy done because I ended up coming down with the flu, you guys, and I was really sick there for about a week, but I was able to wrap him up tonight, and he's here with the other Cyclops I have built. I thought I had a video of me when I was originally putting the like the red coppery color on the spines and all that, but apparently not. That kind of, I guess, got lost in the sauce while I was sick. But yeah, see his mouth there. We've got a lot of neat blood effects on that. Really like the little camo markings around different parts of the face and eye. But yeah. And remember, guys, we built this just out of a Anguirus body, and then the arms are from a Gamera, and then I sculpted the head myself. But yeah, this is our ZAGORAN. He is the newest Cyclops in my Cyclops collection. We got a little fire Stoneclops, our water Cyclops, our Ray Harry Houston Cyclops that I did the restoration work. I resculpted that leg it was missing, the bottom part of that leg, and then I remade that arm. It was missing that arm, and then I painted it that color. But yeah, these are all the Cyclops I have, and I either completely made them or partially redid them myself. So pretty neat. This is the newest one in the collection. Thanks so much for coming with me on this journey, and I hope you to like and subscribe and see me in the next one. All right, y'all, have a great day. Bye-bye.